Today, I want to dive into one of my favorite locations in Final Fantasy VII, the quiet town of Rocket Town, where everyone's favorite angry failed pilot Cid lives. Rocket Town seems to resemble an old English countryside, so in today's video, let's make a Rocket Town inspired shepherd's pie. This isn't a traditional shepherd's pie because finding ground lamb in my area is pretty much impossible. So I just went with some ground beef and we're going to use that in place of the lamb. But I promise this will taste great either way. So first, we need to prep our potatoes by peeling and rough chopping them and putting them in a pot of water just until they are covered. Bring this to a boil and reduce to a simmer until the potatoes are about fork tender. While these boil, let's talk about the history of Rocket Town. This small little town is located on the northwestern part of Gaia's western continent, and seems its most notable feature, from which it gets its name, is the Shinra rocket number 26. More on that in a second. Let's finish our shepherd's pie. Now, while the potatoes are boiling, it would be best to prepare the interior of this pie. So let's add some oil to a pan, saute some onions till they're translucent, about 5 minutes. And once they get to that point, you can add your ground beef or lamb if you want to go that route. Let that brown, crisp up on one side, and then start to break it up into the tiny little pieces. I know mine looks burnt here, but it's not. All this stuff on the bottom, that's flavor. Now we add the parsley, rosemary, thyme, salt, and pepper, and cook until the meat is browned all the way through. While this cooks, let's get back to why there's a leaning tower of rocket in Rocket Town. Shinra rocket number 26 was supposed to be the world's first rocket to launch into space, with Sid Highwind chosen to be the one to usher in this new era. However, Vice President Rufus Shinra had other plans for the Shinra space program, and they were, well, nothing, because after the rocket failed to launch, the space program was cancelled with the support of the entire Shinra executive staff. So, after Shara, one of the engineers who had been working on the rocket right before its launch, found a leak in one of the oxygen tanks, she was ready to stay behind and repair it. There's only one major issue. She would die in the process because she would have been locked in the room and engulfed in flames as soon as the rocket launched. So this gave Cid two options: proceed with the launch as planned and fulfill his dream of becoming the first man in space at the expense of another's life, or cancel the launch and risk losing his one chance to chase his dream. To his dismay, he decided to cancel the launch just as it was about to take off, saving Shara's life, but damaging the rocket so it could not be launched again. It now just stands as a monument of what could have been, and something for the town to look upon as a dream that was never realized. Back to the shepherd's pie. Now that the meat's been cooked through, it's time to add a splash of everyone's favorite ingredient, Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire sauce, the W sauce. Add some of that and some garlic and let that cook for a minute or two. Now let's add some flour and tomato paste and give her a nice little stir until everything's nice and combined. We don't want any clumps of tomato paste lingering around in here. Add the broth, frozen peas and carrots, and corn. Simmer for about 5 minutes, stirring occasionally, and once that's done, remove it from the heat. Now we want to preheat our oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's finish our potatoes while the oven preheats. Drain the boiled potatoes and return to the pot so that any extra moisture can evaporate and let them cool off in the process. Mash the potatoes, or if you have a potato ricer, I recommend using it. It gets them nice and creamy. Then add the butter, the half and half, salt, pepper, and some garlic powder. Lastly, we need to add the Parmesan cheese and mix until everything is well combined. Now let's talk about the legacy of Rocket Town. Cid, unwilling to let Shinra launch the rocket that now has huge material loaded onto it, infiltrates it with the help of the rest of the party, but ends up getting locked in with Shara. Palmer launches a rocket anyway, causing Sid to fulfill his dream of space travel, but I don't think this is what he was expecting. The crew now desperately search for an escape pod as the rocket is headed straight for Meteor. Sid ends up getting stuck and tells the others to go in without him, fully ready to sacrifice himself, but this time it is Shara who saves Sid. This event, along with seeing the world from the vastness of space, helps Sid come to change his outlook on life. He apologizes for his harsh treatment of Shara over the years and gives a speech about the planet being a sick little kid and Sephiroth being the disease that is inside that needs to be eradicated. Now, Rocketown has no rocket, as its monument is only the launch pad that remains. With some of the townspeople having their lives changed, finally being able to see the rocket launch, they'd worked so hard over the years and finally got to see the hard work pay off. But others felt miserable that it did indeed finally launch. Alright, let's go finish our Rocketown pie. Now let's grab a baking dish and spread the meat mixture in an even layer on the bottom, and then spoon the mashed potatoes on top, carefully spreading them into an even layer as well. Now place this into the preheated oven for about 25 to 30 minutes uncovered. After the time is up, let that bad boy cool off so it doesn't burn you, like I'm sure has happened a few times to Sid in his lovely cup of tea. Now you can enjoy. If you like this video and found it interesting, be sure to let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. I'll be doing more of these types of videos in the future for each area of Final Fantasy VII, so if you look forward to that, you will definitely want to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and for more video game recipes, check out this video here. Peace.